Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my weekly review of the Vampire Diaries on the CW. This week we've seen Season 8, Episode 2, which is called Today Will Be Different. And of course, continuing the titles being lines from back in Season 1. I really do like that still, it's pretty cool. And I can just imagine each line being spoken again in my head. It's a pretty cool tie back, I think. I want to apologize for the lateness of this review. I worked late Friday night again, and Van Helsing is my first priority on Friday nights now. Except when TVD gets to its series finale, I might review that first. But I apologize for the lateness, but I have to watch Van Helsing, and I have to actually get some sleep and watch other things I like and enjoy, like Supernatural and such. But I still want to get to this one. I will be doing my review of Z Nation at some point as well, but I'm not really rushing that one, to be honest. But I really enjoyed this week's episode of the Vampire Diaries. I did like the Season 8 premiere, but I feel like this episode just had a lot more going for it. It was really good, yet really frustrating at the same time. Or maybe just, and we got our first real, look with Sybil as our final big bad in the series. We get to spend more time with her in this episode. And just off the bat, how is she as a villain so far? I think she's pretty good. I think they could have came up with something a little bit better for a series ender, antagonist. But the way she went into Damon's mind and what she did with that, which we'll talk more about in a few minutes, it's really starting to probably put her up in some people's minds, because no one wants anyone to touch their Elena flashbacks or anything like that. So what she did with Damon was pretty cruel, but we'll talk about that in a second. I don't think she's going to be the greatest villain in the show. I still consider Klaus to be the best villain the Vampire Diaries has ever had, and Klaus is one of the greatest characters ever in anything, period. But I do like her more than villains we had in Season 4 and 5. I think she's a lot more interesting than Marcos or the Travelers, or I forget her name, but why am I suddenly forgetting everything? But Season 5, with Stefan, and when we found out he was the doppelganger of Silas, I think she's more interesting than Silas. So she's not. I think she could have been a little bit better, but I think she's building up to be one of the slightly better ones of the show, I guess, especially over the past few seasons anyway. But yeah, I didn't take notes because I just kind of wanted to relax when I got home from work and watch the episode. But we also got a lot of focus on Enzo and Bonnie in this episode. We know that Enzo had been leaving Bonnie clues that he was still having some sort of control, or he was still fighting at least Sybil's influence. And we see how low Bonnie is, at this point. And she does manage to get a hold of Enzo, and she uses one of the injectors to knock him out. And he can just, I really like Michael Malarkey's acting in this episode, and you can just see how much he was struggling with his feelings for Bonnie, but also trying to conceal them so Sybil wouldn't be able to find her or try to hurt her. Because Sybil can just read their minds, or their most innermost thoughts. And we also see the return of Sarah Nelson, or Sarah Salvatore, in this episode. And Enzo, we see Sarah in Enzo's mind when Sybil's looking into him, because she knows he has been resisting quite a bit more than Damon has, or she hasn't been able to get into his mind as easily. And Enzo basically is able to think of Sarah as a way to sort of direct her away from Bonnie, and that's why he hasn't really tried to get in touch with Bonnie or see her, because Sybil would see that, and then Bonnie would be the target. And Enzo's struggle, I thought was really well portrayed and acted out by Michael Malarkey in this episode. He's one of the best actors on the show now, I think. But of course we do see them sort of embrace a little bit later, which is touching, but then now we have Sybil aware of all that. So that's going to be dangerous for sure. And with Sarah, of course, Stefan, once they become aware of that, he does try to go find her and help, as does Caroline. And, I knew about Sarah returning this season. I did a video on certain characters returning when we got some news, as well as when we found out who was going to be playing Sybil. So I was kind of eager to see her. I think they had a chance to really, use her, and not like Elena, but make her like a prominent character for the season. But she dies in this episode, unfortunately, and I was a little bit disappointed by that. That was like the one negative I had against it. But I think the scene where she actually does die was pretty effective, because it has to do with like Damon's like last string of himself being pulled away. We see that Damon isn't fully gone. We see it on the premiere a little bit. We see it more in this episode. We see that his memories and thoughts of Elena are what's still giving him that refuge, in this endless ocean, really. Metaphorically, of course. And, so the thoughts of Elena would always be there to give him a chance to come back at some point if they had pushed it in the right direction. But when Sybil found that out, she just couldn't have that. And we've been seeing those flashbacks to when Damon and Elena first met. And she plucks herself into that memory and takes out Elena and, has herself there instead. So Damon's thoughts are even more centered around her. And Elena is like his last connection to who he was. So that was really sad to see, and when she plucks that last bit of Damon's self away, that's when Damon is just willing to let Sarah die at that point, even though Stefan was starting to, get through to him a little bit. So that was sad for sure. But yeah, trying to think, because I usually have my notes. But then we also had Caroline, or before we talk about Caroline, let's talk about Alaric. Of course, he's still looking through, the armory, through the tunnels with Georgie, who's played by the actress who played Mindy and Drake and Josh, which is awesome. We found out more about her in this episode. We found out that she's connected to one of the artifacts and such, the tattoo on her body. And we get more of a scene between her and Alaric of her sort of explaining her story. And I thought she actually did pretty well acting-wise in that scene. So I do like Georgie. I don't know if there's going to be like a romance between them two. It definitely seems like it's probably going to happen with Alaric and the nanny, though. And I'm fine with that, because Alaric deserves some happiness. Come on, everyone he's gotten close to like that's died. Give him someone for the end of the series, that doesn't just, but, that was fine. And, we had a pretty happy moment where Stefan, he's been, creating more room in the Salvatore mansion, for, Caroline and the kids and such. And at the end of the episode, he proposes to Caroline. She finds the ring in the drawer. And, it's a touching scene, I still sort of have mixed feelings. Not they used the song from the Farewell TVD video they released a little while ago at Comic-Con. I kind of want the song to be used for a different scene. Mainly because, while I still really like Stefan and care about his happiness, I still don't really like Caroline that much. I'm sorry. But still, the proposal, was nice. It was, sweet and everything like that. It's good to see Stefan happy, but I just don't buy... for some reason, I still don't buy that he loves her really that much. But we did see in the premiere that Stefan still sort of thinks of Elena when he needs a place to get hope. He doesn't go to Caroline. He does think of Elena when he needs that. So I think that still says something. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff I forgot in this episode, but feel free to leave a comment below. We can talk about it more. Overall, I really like this one. I'm going to give it like an 8.6, 8.7 out of 10. This could be a pretty decent season. I'm just sort of trudging along with it. I'm just eager to get to the final couple episodes to see how it all ends. Elena, come back, please. Or Catherine, come back and just kill Sybil. You're the only one who can mess with the guys' heads like that. Come on. But yeah, overall I like this one. Sybil's being set up as a decent villain, at least better than some of the other ones we've gotten lately. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.